Sure, most of you guys recognize all of these household names. We run typically about 50 to 100 campaigns at any one time, and as I mentioned, they're all location-based campaigns. So typically these campaigns are driving folks into these physical locations. And we're using geofencing technology to do that. So a few different use cases. Obvious one, geofencing your own storefronts. You know what your trade radius is. If you serve an ad around that trade radius, you can then deliver a message to the consumer that says, hey, we're 0.2 miles away, this is our address, click here for directions, and drive those consumers into stores. We're seeing a lot of what we call geoconquesting, which is where folks are geofencing competitor locations. So if you're in the electronics business, let's say you're Best Buy, you may want to geofence Radio Shack locations to try to drive folks that are engaged in purchasing electronics into your particular location. We're seeing brands use this for events. So if you're sponsoring a sporting event or a concert, or you have an event going on at a stadium or theater, you may want to use this technique to drive folks to that particular event. Really any relevant points of interest. We've done some interesting campaigns. One was for a pet supply company, and they said, we want to geofence dog parks. So we created geofences around all the dog parks to get those pet owners and to create awareness around this particular product. And then product announcements. Brands like Starbucks, they don't need to advertise where they are. They're pretty much on every block in every major city. Everybody knows where their Starbucks is, but not everybody knows about the latest product that Starbucks are promoting. So Starbucks have used us, for example, to promote their latest product lines, to say, hey, yes, we're this close to you, and did you know that we now offer this beverage? So a great way to do a new product announcement. In the example here on the screen for FedEx, you see the banner ad over to the left. It's got the address of the nearest FedEx. It's got the proximity. We're 5.3 miles away. And then we're also using a dynamic feature in this execution, which we call a countdown clock. So that is dynamically counting down the days left until Christmas, obviously key time for shipping. And then the landing page itself, once the consumers click through, they're going to see a mobile optimized landing page. So we have an in-house team that has a lot of expertise around building these pages specifically for mobile. So you've got the ability to view those nearby locations, and then you can click on that little map icon and actually get directions that will walk that consumer into the store. You can also use click to call that location. Other executions involve delivering coupons, driving people to mobile sites, really a plethora of different use cases. So let's take a look at a little case study here. This was a campaign that we did for Best Western. And Best Western came to us and said, we want to drive bookings, particularly looking at last-minute travelers. A lot of folks that use our particular hotels are really last-minute business travelers. So we geofenced their locations, and then we also geofenced competitive locations, other hotels within their within their range. And then we saw over a 2% click-through rate on some of the days with the highest engagement. So typically in mobile, today you're talking maybe 0.7 is probably an average click-through rate. So seeing click-through rates north of 2% on this particular campaign really underscored the relevancy in delivering this campaign to consumers that really drove the engagement here.